there, but it is important for you all to know about the growth curve, because the same kind of growth curves are even followed for our growth, or in the microbial growth, or in the other animals growth. Okay, the shape of the curve can change. So sometimes it is a S shape, sometimes it's J shape, sometimes it's some other type of curve. But then it is important for we all to know what is a growth curve. Okay, so as it is not a part of our syllabus now, we will be skipping this. The next part of differentiation, de-differentiation, redifferentiation, actually a बहुत interesting fact है, but then it's not there, so no point in explaining, because even if मैंने बता भी दिया तो भी तुम लोग सब सोते रहोगे, and I will just keep on speaking. So हम लोग वो सब skip करेंगे, even the development part, and then we are now directly jumping towards the next part of the chapter, that is the growth hormones. Okay, so now I think कल थोड़ा सा डिस्कस किए थे about what is hormones and their function. So we will just take a recap first and then we'll go. So tell me what is hormones. I think तुम लोग का control and coordination chapter हो गया है. So you all are well aware about the hormones part, right? So tell me what are hormones? कौन बताएगा? Anyone? What are hormones and like okay? पहले बताओ what are hormones? Not about plants. Tell in terms of human beings. कि अभी तुम लोग ने human beings का पढ़ा है. तो tell me what are hormones in case of human beings?
Hormones are chemical messages जो body endocrine gland secrete करते हैं.
Okay. So these are the secretions of the endocrine glands, which are a ductless glands basically. और क्या होता है, ये डायरेक्टली ब्लड में सिक्रेट किए जाते हैं. एंड नाउ या दैट इज एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. दिस इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज हार्मोन. नाउ व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ हार्मोन? व्हाई डू वी नीड हार्मोन्स?
Hormones are responsible for our growth and development.
Only growth and development, or there are other functions also? Yeah, that is absolutely correct, and a major function you have told that it is involved in the major growth and development. No doubt, they are involved in the growth and development, but there are only other hormones only involved in the growth and development, or there are multiple other functions also which they are carrying out.
Multiple other functions are also there.
Yeah, that is correct. So now, as you correctly said, it is growth and development which is a major function, and with respect to that only we will talk in this particular chapter. But then apart from that, in case of human beings, there are different steroid hormones, which includes like sex hormones like progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. Then there are ADH, there is a coherine, there is something called as a thyroid hormone. That there are multiple hormones which are present, and each one of them is contributing in some or other way for the overall body functioning. May it be growth and development, may it be reproduction, may it be some glucose metabolism, कुछ भी हो सकता है, but they are contributing to the some or other way to the body functioning. And tell me, how these hormones are different from enzymes? What is the major difference? This is the last question from my side. तो मैंने what are hormones बताया, बोला, you told me very correctly. तुमने functions पूछा, तुमने मुझे बहुत अच्छे से बताया. Now the last question is, what is the basic difference between enzymes and hormones? या दोनों भी same होते हैं?
अलग है.
Yeah, they are different. That is correct. Now how?
सर वो लिविंग रहते हैं और हार्मोन तो केमिकल रहते हैं.
क्या क्या क्या? Sorry, I did not get it. Can you please repeat, Saurabh?
सर शायद मतलब ये जो एंजाइम है वो जिंदा रहते हैं और जो हार्मोन्स है वो तो बस केमिकल से जो सिर्फ स्टिमुलेट करते हैं.
ठीक है, मतलब no, मतलब actually I got what you want to say, but then that is not correct thing. Anyone else?
हमारे बॉडी में जो केमिकल रिएक्शंस होते हैं उसमें एंजाइम्स कैटलिस्ट जैसे वर्क करते हैं ना.
हाँ.
एंड हाँ.
Yeah, that is correct. So you are quite like okay, you are quite close to the answer. The basic thing is like जैसे कि सौरभ ने एक बात बोला कि एक जिंदा होता है समथिंग एंड ही सेड कि बाकी केमिकल होता है. Yeah, that is correct. Hormones are like we say it is a chemical messenger basically hormone ko, and then enzymes will be called as a biocatalyst. But there is nothing like zinda because both hormones and the enzymes are basically proteins or peptides. What do I mean by peptides? Peptides मतलब chain of amino acids and protein मतलब a well developed जिसको 3 dimensional structure है as a protein. Okay. So like, but the basic what I want to say is both are made up of amino acids. So there is nothing uh, like एक जिंदा है या नहीं. No, both are composed of biomolecules like amino acids and both are equally important, but the function is different. So yeah, Aryan, you're correct. Even yeah, Akansha has mentioned enzyme catalyze the reaction, but hormones send chemical messages. Yes, enzymes are biocatalysts, whereas hormones have a different function. Correct. So basically, enzymes are biocatalysts, and they are involved in a particular stage. They actually they do not take part directly, but then they have major role in performing a particular chemical reaction, right? But hormones they do not catalyze the reaction, but they can stimulate the particular reaction. Okay, so they can stimulate, and because of that, a particular reaction can be carried out. So it depends कि hormone कितना है. Hormone अगर ज़्यादा रहेगा तो maybe the reaction is not will not happen. अगर hormone कम हो गया तो it will happen. So you can say there are enzymes which are responsible. So basically it is kind of uh, homeostasis. मतलब a balance is maintained. Hormone will stimulate some reaction, it will carry out, it will form some product. Okay, अगर hormone का value का amount कम हुआ है, then the reaction again it will stimulate some reaction, it will catalyze some processes, and it will form a hormone. So in this way, the both are basically in a biomolecules, but then one is a catalyst and one is a chemical messenger, and function wise also they quite differ, but one common thing we can say both are available in a very small amount. Okay, we don't have as a kgs of enzyme in our body, we don't have as a kgs or we say liters of enzyme hormones in our body. They are present very specific amount. First thing. Second thing, they both of them, both enzymes and the hormones are very specific to their function. Okay, ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरा जो ग्रोथ हार्मोन है वो कल जाके मुझे रिप्रोडक्शन में हेल्प करेगा, एंड नॉट इज लाइक माय amylase will go and break down lipid tomorrow. No, amylase will always go on starch, and growth hormone will always involve in the growth only. So this is something which is very important, because without any specificity, none of them will be that useful for us. Okay, so I think you understood the basic difference, because this type of questions are very commonly asked in an exam. What is the basic difference in a hormones and enzyme? So difference is क्या कि वो एक तो बायोकेटालिस्ट एंजाइम्स एंड हार्मोन्स और केमिकल मैसेंजर्स, एंड डिफरेंस क्या है, सॉरी एंड सिमिलरिटीज क्या है कि both are present in a small amount and both are very specific in their activity. Okay, so with this I think this is a very small introduction about the hormones, and you can now understand exactly hormones क्या होते हैं. तो जैसे कि हमने देखा कि as human beings or any living animals are having a hormone, in a similar way, in a case of plants there are these hormones. So now, as you have correctly mentioned, that hormones are involved in a plant in a growth and development. So even the plants are living beings, and even they show a typical growth and development. So अगर उनमें भी growth and development हो रहा है, so definitely there are something which will stimulate the growth and development. This something is like some hormones are present. Okay, so let's go and have understanding about what is the growth hormones. So the term hormones actually was coined by a scientist in 1906. His name was Starling, and he discovered this, like basically he observed these hormones when he was working in animal physiology. So the hormones were actually discovered in animals, and then they tried to find out the similar molecules in the plants, and then the research went on. Okay, so that's what it was first discovered by, or we can say was coined by Starling. Okay, the internal factors that influences growth are called as growth hormones and or growth regulators. तो बेसिकली जो भी हार्मोन से और इंटरनल फैक्टर से जो ग्रोथ के रिलेटेड फंक्शन करेंगे, they may inhibit growth, they may promote growth, or they may modify growth. Okay, so sometimes as I mentioned कि पर्टिकुलर प्लांट का ग्रोथ हो गया है up to particular extent, so the hormones will stop the growth. But अगर particular plant बहुत छोटा है and it needs to grow, then the hormone will get secreted and it will allow the plant to grow faster. So this is something which happens even in the artificial conditions. What we do, अगर मुझे कोई plant को grow करना है, then I just provide a particular hormones, and then we can see the plant is growing very nicely. So if you remember अपना biotechnology chapter which we had done long back, in that something called as plant tissue culture was discussed. So this plant tissue culture is nothing but artificially growing the plant, okay, under controlled condition. So I don't know how many of you remember that thing, or तुमने कितने ने पढ़ा था वो after that. But there are also these two words were mentioned, auxins, cytokinins, and all. And I used to mention that yeah, these are helping in a shoot formation, root formation, like that. So this is why the hormones are important, because they can control the growth of particular part of the plant. How? Because they can actually inhibit also, they can promote also, or they can modify also. That's why everything is called as growth hormones or growth regulators. So when we talk about plants, there are multiple growth hormones present. Few which actually promote the growth, few which actually inhibit the growth. So you need to understand this, that अगर कोई भी सिस्टम है, लिविंग सिस्टम, और उसको प्रॉपरली बैलेंस स्टेट में रहना है, तो उसके पास बहुत प्रोमोटर्स एंड इनहिबिटर्स होना इंपॉर्टेंट है. इट्स नॉट लाइक कि सिर्फ प्रोमोटर्स होना चाहिए, बिकॉज अगर प्रोमोटर्स होगा देन देयर मे बी excess of growth which can be observed, but your required nahi. What we want a proper and जितना चाहिए उतना ही growth, not excessive or any extra over proliferation kind of thing, because it can lead to some issues. So that's why there are two types of hormones. First is growth promoting hormone, and second is growth inhibiting hormones. Okay. So when I talk about growth promoting hormones or growth promoters, there are three main hormones involved. They are auxins, gibberellins, and cytokinins. Okay. And when I say about growth inhibitors, there are two main hormones, ethylene and abscisic acid. Okay. But all of them all together are required and essential for the growth regulation in plants. So in total, we will study 5 hormones, namely auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, ethylene and abscisic acid. इसमें से 3 है वो है promoters and 2 है inhibitors. Okay, so you need to understand and keep in mind कि कौन से promoters हैं और कौन से inhibitors हैं. Okay, then after some some time when people found that okay, there is something called as hormone, then again two scientists, Heman and Pincus, in 1948, they said that the plant hormones क्या होते हैं, basically that was the question. So they said that the plant hormones are organic substances produced naturally in a higher plant, affecting the growth or other physiological function. Okay, this is a clear part कि वो organic substances है, point 1, naturally produce होते हैं, point 2, and responsible for growth and other physiological factors, point 2. And now the important point is like they are synthesized at a remote part. Basically, they are synthesized at one place and then transported to the other place. Okay, so they basically produce at one particular site in a plant, and then they are actually produced at one particular site in a very small amount, as I mentioned, or very optimum amount, मतलब जितना चाहिए उतना ही बनाएंगे kind of thing. ओके एक बार जो वो बन गया then they will transfer it to the different parts of the plant via the transport system through the phloem parenchyma. So this can be an MCQ for you, that the hormones are transported through the in the plant through which part. So the answer is the phloem parenchyma. Okay, then with this introduction, or we can say background of the hormones and the growth hormones is done, and we will now go in detail about each and every hormone जो यहाँ पे दिया है, like auxin, gibberellin, cytokinins, ethylene oxide, sorry ethylene and abscisic acid. Okay, so now we'll start with the auxins. Before starting with the directly on auxins, actually यहाँ पे थोड़ा दिया है know the scientists again. It is information about different scientists which had work on auxin and उसका experiment दिया है हम लोगों ने. So if you want you can just go through it. I will not discuss because it's not that सिर्फ साइंटिस्ट ने क्या किया है वो साइंटिस्ट का नाम और उन्होंने क्या किया है वो दिया है in a short. So this is just for your information, so you can do. अगर नहीं समझा तो we can discuss again. Okay. So after that, yeah, I must say one thing is very important which I want to discuss. But FW Wendt 1928 इसने जो एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था, the name of the assay is a Avena curvature test. So it was done in the Avena plant basically, that is why the name Avena curvature test. And what he did actually, and he was the first one to obtain the auxin also. So उसने क्या किया, उसने Avena plant के जो tips रहता है उसको cut किया and he kept it on a agar ka media, and then after some time again he put up the agar ka media onto the part of the plant or the stump जहाँ से उसने वो tips को cut किया था. So what he observed, it was still bending. Okay, so what he concluded that कि okay अगर मैंने उसका tip cut भी कर दिया agar भी रख दिया after keeping the tips on agar for some time, still it's bending. मतलब क्या कि when I put up the tips or polyptiles on agar, something has been transported from the tips to the agar. मतलब कुछ तो diffuse हुआ है into the agar, and the agar is now having some chemicals which are then actually helping the plant to move, okay, or to show this particular curve, and that's why this is called as Avena curvature test. It is very commonly, it is very first explanation about the auxins which was given by the FW Wendt. Okay, so like that other experiments are also given and different scientists. I don't think you are expected to memorize the scientists' work as such, but then if you could, it is good. Okay. So let's move to the let's start with the auxin basically. So basically what is auxin, or what does the one auxin mean? So it means to grow. Okay. So these particular hormones are actually involved in the elongation and we can say growth of the roots and shoots. Okay. So as I mentioned, the Wendt was the first scientist to give the explanation about the auxins, and he was the first to use this term auxin. Okay. The auxins was isolated from the urine of a person suffering from the pellagra. Now what is pellagra? Pellagra is typical disease which occurs due to the deficiency of a vitamin B3. Vitamin B3 is also called as niacin, and it is अगर उसका amount और उसका requirement fulfill नहीं हुआ body में, then it will lead to pellagra. Now pellagra में क्या क्या होता है? It shows inflamed skin, diarrhea, dementia, and a sores in the mouth. Okay, so these are some symptoms of pellagra which are observed. Now, after that in plants, it is basically the auxins, which is an important hormone, is synthesized in a growing tips or a meristematic regions of the plant, from where it is transported to the other plant parts. Okay, so auxin is basically as we go now, so you will find a particular pattern. So a site of synthesis, unka types, unka precursor, unka function. So for all the hormones, so we will try, or I will ask you to make a table जहाँ पे name of the hormone will be the first column, who discovered will be the second column, third what is the function, Fourth, what is a precursor for a hormone? Fifth, location of synthesis, and sixth, example. Okay, so this is a kind of table I want you all to make, which will help you to understand and study this particular hormones. Okay, because this is all theory, there is no concept as such. This is like, okay, ये हार्मोन है, इसका ये फंक्शन है, ये ऐसा ऐसा काम करता है, इसका ये स्ट्रक्चर है, ये इसके एग्जांपल्स है. So there is nothing like concept as such, but then we can say yeah, something which is already discovered and is now well established, and that's why we are studying it. Okay, so don't take it as a like lightly. We have, because you generally people keep on messing up. ऑक्सिन का जाता है जिब्रेलिन में, जिब्रेलिन का जाता है इथिलीन में, तो वो जो होता है that should not happen. You need to read it again and again to have a proper idea. Okay, so I hope you will make the table which I have asked you to do. As we are going ahead, you just need to, so after every lecture, so today we will finish oxins and gibberellins maybe. So आज घर जाके, मतलब obviously you are घर पे, so after lecture whenever you are getting time, just make the table for the oxin and gibberellins. Let's see how it works then. Okay, so basically the site of synthesis for this particular hormone is the growing tips or the meristematic regions of a plant. And एक बार वहाँ पे produce हो गए, then it can be transported to the other parts of the plant. Okay, so there are multiple types of auxins, but then we can say auxins can be natural as well as synthetic, or we can say artificial. So all these auxins are actually synthesized from a particular amino acid called as tryptophan, which actually acts as a precursor. Okay. So tryptophan is a precursor or a primary precursor for this particular hormone. So as I mentioned, there are two types of auxins, natural and synthetic. The natural one is called as indole 3-acetic acid or IAA. Okay, this is very important and present in many plants also, and it is also obtained from the tryptophan. It is the first hormone to be discovered in plants and is primarily responsible for the cell elongation, as I mentioned previously also. Okay, so its function क्या है? Cell elongation and cell growth. Now, as I mentioned कि it is synthesized in a tips basically. तो अगर वो tips पे synthesize हो रहा है and वो बाकी parts पे जा रहा है, definitely transport is important factor, right? So the auxins actually shows polar transport, which is a basipetal transport in a stem. So basically, what is polar and what is basipetal? I think two words are there which we need to discuss. So when I say polar, so auxins are not the hormones जो ऐसे ही कहीं भी डिफ्यूज हो जाएंगे. So when I say polar, it means cell to cell transfer होते हैं, but when there is some changes in a difference, when there is some differences in their concentration within a cell and out of the cell. So it's kind of movement of the auxin molecules from the one cell to the next cell, and it is not happening directly because auxins cannot pass from one cell to another cell directly. So there are some carrier proteins or membrane proteins which are involved and which actually help in a transfer of a auxin. So there are two important such proteins which are involved in auxin transport. They are not given in your book, so I'm not discussing in detail. But this particular proteins actually acts as a carrier for auxin. Okay. तो क्या होता है, अगर पर्टिकुलर सेल के अंदर ऑक्सीजन का लेवल कम है और उसके बाहर का, like I need to take it to the next step. So this particular protein will bind to the auxin and take it up to the next cell. So this is the way actually they transfer the auxin, and this particular transport is called as a polar transport. And what do I mean by basipetal transport? Basipetal transport is nothing but basipetal, matlab towards base basically. So whenever the auxin, let's say the auxin is synthesized in the tip of the shoot, okay, so it will be get transported from the tip to the base. So the movement is like from tip to base, and this is called as basipetal transport in a plant. Okay, so I hope you understood what is polar transport and what is basipetal transport. Okay, now synthesis of auxins, like synthetic auxins, this is all about the natural which I was talking about. As I mentioned कि वहाँ पे synthetic auxins भी है, so which includes IBA, which is nothing but indole-butyric acid. NAA है, there is a naphthalene acetic acid, and 2,4-D है, 2,4-D pichloro है, which is the nothing but phenolic acetic acid. So these are different oxygens which are involved. 2,4-D is also used as a herbicide, like killing the weeds, killing or weedicide, something like that. Okay, so this is just a basic background of oxygens. वो कैसे कहाँ बनते हैं, कैसे ट्रांसपोर्ट होते हैं, what are natural part, what is the synthetic part and all. Now let's go in a more detail about the physiological effect and applications of the oxygens. Okay, so I think one function to is clear to you now. It is involved in a cell elongation or enlargement, we can say. Okay, so in most of the higher plant, it was observed that growing the apical bud actually inhibits the growth of the lateral bud. Okay, so actually auxin stimulate the apical dominance. So मतलब क्या इसका सबका मतलब क्या, व्हाट इज अपाइकल डोमिनेंस? तो अगर हमने देखा था कोई कुछ कुछ प्लांट्स में क्या होता है कि जो टिप्स है ना वो ग्रो होते रहते हैं, मतलब अ प्लांट जस्ट ऐसा मतलब ऊपर ऊपर ग्रो होते जाएगा, बट देयर विल बी नो ब्रांचिंग फ्रॉम साइड. तो ये पर्टिकुलर प्लांट में देयर विल बी नो ब्रांचिंग, तो वो ऐसे देयर इज नो प्रॉपर शेप आल्सो, एंड द प्लांट विल जस्ट कीप ऑन ग्रोइंग ग्रोइंग ग्रोइंग, बट उस पे इतना कुछ फ्लावर्स वगैरह नहीं आते. सो यू मस्ट ऑब्जर्व. फिर क्या करते हैं हम लोग थोड़ा ऊपर से उसको कट कर देते हैं, एंड जब भी हम लोग उसको ऊपर से कट करते हैं देन इट स्टार्ट शोइंग द लैटरल ग्रोथ, मतलब वो साइड से ब्रांचेस आना चालू होगा एंड सम, एंड इट विल गिव अ प्रॉपर अपीयरेंस टू द प्लांट. So this is because of the auxin only, because in a tips auxins are present and which will stimulate the growth. The moment we actually cut the tip, it will stimulate the other growth of the other part. Okay, so this is called as apical dominance, which is the because of the auxin. So now this is one part. Then the other part is like auxin is also involved in a growth of the stems and the root, as I mentioned. It stimulates the growth of like even in a plant tissue culture part, auxins are used for stimulating the growth of the stem and root. So when the auxins actually stimulate the growth of root, it is called as rhizogenesis in terms of PTC, that is the plant tissue culture. And when particular hormone is stimulates the growth of shoot, it is called as coalogenesis. CAULOGENESIS. Coalogenesis is nothing but stimulating the growth of shoot. Okay, so that is the one thing. It also induces the multiplication of the cells, yeah, and that's how it stimulates the growth of stem and root. That is why. And then it is also used in a plant tissue culture experiment to produce callus. So I think this is something we already had discussed. So what is callus? Callus is the unorganized mass of cells which actually can give rise to different parts of the plant. तो if you remember the biotechnology chapter, वहाँ पे मैंने एक फोटोज दिखाया था, ऐसे बॉटल में small things were there, like green color का ऐसा कुछ तो दिख रहा था. It was not a typical plant, but that was just a mass of the cells. So callus is nothing but the mass of the cells which can give rise to a plant. Okay, so the auxins are actually used to produce this particular callus. Okay, it also stimulates the formation of the lateral and the adventitious root. Yeah, as we know, there are two types of roots present. One is a lateral and one is the adventitious. So if you know, there is a majorly two types of roots. वो एक जो हम लोग का रहता है वो सिंगल रूट जो नीचे रह जाता है, दैट्स द प्राइमरी रूट, और उसके बाद में जो स्मॉल ब्रांचिंग्स आता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज, वेट आई विल शो यू. आई थिंक यू ऑल नो व्हाट इज lateral and adventitious, right? You tell me. If you are not able to tell, then I will explain. What is lateral and what is adventitious? Anyone? Yes, it was there in your morphology chapter. So tell me, what is lateral and what is adventitious?
सर वो lateral में एक मोटी सी जड़ आती है और फिर उससे से ब्रांचेस ये और रूट निकलती है।
हाँ, करेक्ट।
और एडवेंटिशियस में ऐसे सारी की सारी रूट्स इससे मतलब एकदम बारीक बारीक रहती है, हेयर टाइप।
फाइबर्स के जैसे।
ओके, तो ओके, so what is the difference in a lateral and a fibrous then?
लैटरल टैप रूट है।
हाँ,
सर एक बड़ा रूट आता है, फिर उसके आजू बाजू से
हाँ,
ऐसे
राइट।
निकलते हैं। एडवेंटिशियस तो नीचे ही ग्राउंड से एकदम मतलब झुंड बना के निकलते हैं।
So what is the major difference in a like adventitious का जितना मुझे पता है, this something apart from the plumule जो निकालते हैं उसको हम adventitious बोलते हैं, is it? Am I correct?
यस सर।
हाँ, so even the prop root जो हम लोग देखते हैं banyan trees में, they are also adventitious roots, is it right? Please correct me. I'm just asking. I'm just asking
हाँ
you
सर,
because
उसमें उसमें सेकेंडरी और प्राइमरी जैसा कुछ ऐसा नहीं होता, और ये लेटरल में ऐसा ही कुछ होता है, प्राइमरी
ओके ओके
सेकेंडरी जैसा।
ओके ओके, बिकॉज मेरा थोड़ा बॉटनी इज वीक, बट देन जितना मुझे पता है आई एम जस्ट डिस्कसिंग, फिर भी आई विल चेक अप जो मैंने बोला वो सही है नहीं है। या सो बेसिकली जो तुमने बोला दैट इज करेक्ट। इन लैटरल या टैप रूट एंड एडवेंटिशियस रूट रहते हैं, दैट इज करेक्ट। Yes, Aryan is also correct. So this is what I was saying. Lateral grows from the radical. Basically, taproot grows from the radical, and adventitious from the other part. Okay, it can be from some nodes or like that. So I think yeah, sahi tha. So let's move ahead then. So actually, these hormones actually stimulate the growth of both lateral and adventitious roots, and these are actually available in the markets now in the different brands. So as I mentioned, one of them 2,4-D, that's the 2,4-dichlorophenoxy acetic acid, is used as a herbicide. So it actually kills the dicot weeds without affecting the monocot crop plant. So this is very good discovery because मतलब अगर हम लोग देखें क्रॉप्स में या फिर फार्म्स में, दिस वाज द मेजर प्रॉब्लम। जब भी हम लोग कुछ तो पेस्टिसाइड यूज करते हैं या फिर हर्बिसाइड यूज करते हैं, so what used to happen कि along with the herbs and the unwanted plants, undesirable plants, to some extent हम लोग के जो अच्छे plants भी थे वो भी affect हो जाते थे। So what we were needed at that time, specificity. जिसको मरना है वही वही उसको, जिसको मारना है सिर्फ वही मरना चाहिए। And with this intention, they tried searching different things, and then one of such herbicide is a 2,4-D, 2,4-D, which is a 2,4-dichlorophenoxy acetic acid. It is a herbicide, and which kills the dicot weeds without affecting the monocot crop plant. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now these are multiple functions, and you will see there are multiple functions which are common in all the hormones. Auxins में common है, gibberellins में common है, cytokines में common है. So you should know कि कौन से hormones, कौन से functions common है, because now this will help you in the writing answer. So let's take, so you should say okay, common का functions, peculiar function or let's say special functions कि जो सिर्फ auxins का ही है, जो सिर्फ gibberellins का ही है. So this is the way you should study basically. I don't know exactly how you are gonna do. तुम लोग textbook से पढ़ते हो, you refer some notes or some reference book. I have no idea, but please first try to finish up your textbook without before going to any other thing. Okay. Then the other function is like something called as parthenocarpy induce करना, and you will say inducing parthenocarpy is one of the function in gibberellin also. So what is parthenocarpy? If you remember, we had discussed it is a development of a fruit without fertilization. So there are multiple fruits like seedless fruit, we can say, like orange, lemon, grapes, bananas, etc., which are produced by application of auxins. Okay, and it is done by the process of parthenocarpy. Okay, it also promotes the cell division in a cambium and also causes early differentiation of xylem and phloem. So basically, cambium is a part of the plant which actually stimulates the secondary growth of the plant. So there is something called as core cambium also, which is a lateral meristem and is responsible for a secondary growth that replaces the epidermis in roots and stems. It is found in the woody and the many herbaceous dicots, gymnosperm. It is not present in monocots, but there are some exceptions as well. Okay, so this is all about cambium. Now the last function of the auxins. So it also promotes root elongation in low concentration, and it promotes shoot growth in a higher concentration. So you can see the hormone is the function of the hormone is very much concentration dependent, which is an important factor. अगर मैंने कम concentration दिया तो it will show growth of roots. अगर मैंने high concentration दिया तो it will show growth of shoots. And this is something बोलते ना एक important part of the particular auxin. So we have to be very careful while using auxin. कि मुझे कौन सा part actually grow करना है. I want to do for roots or I want to grow shoots. Depending on that, we have to find what is the optimum concentration as well. Okay. It also has some early rooting in a propagation by the cutting. So this is some methods which they actually use for propagation. I don't know, like, you know, always something called as micro propagation and all things. So it is just a part of that, and it is used in and the process is known by cutting. Okay. Then actually अभी हमने क्या क्या देखा, it actually includes involved in a multiple function देखे हम लोगों ने. So it was involved in a cell elongation, it was involved in a cell enlargement, it was stimulating growth of the roots and shoot, it was involved in a cell division, it was involved in a concentration dependent growth of roots and shoot, it was involved in a parthenocarpy, and now it will be now there are few more functions. So it is now involved in a flowering as well. So if you do a foliar spray, what do I mean by foliar spray? मतलब spraying on a leaves basically. Okay. So foliar spray of Na8, that is the naphthalene acetic acid, and 2,4-D induces the flowering in few plants like lychee and pineapple. It also prevents the premature fruit drop. So this is also one function. So it is, what is premature fruit drop? मतलब even before the fruit is well developed and completely grown, it just drops from the plant, and which is not beneficial for the farmers which are doing the particular, which are taking as a crop plant. So definitely we have to prevent that, and the auxins had shown to prevent the premature fruit drops in this plant, and also prevent the formation of the abscission layer. This is a typical layer. You can I will try to show you. Okay, I will show you after finishing this particular class, because मुझे ये screen share stop करके वापस से on करना पड़ेगा. So, but I will show you what is the abscission layer, because it is there in the next part also. Okay, so basically it is something which inhibits the growth. ऐसा हम लोग बोल सकते हैं. Okay, something which will inhibit the growth is called as abscission layer. Okay, so it prevents the formation of the abscission layer in some plants. Then auxins play a role in the elongation of a cell, already discussed, and it is also known to increase the rate of respiration. See, one more function, and then it is also involved in breaking the dormancy in seeds and promote twig generation. Now, what is dormancy? So we all know a best example of dormancy are the pulses. So हम सबके घर में now there will be now I think at this particular time of the crisis also, people are preferring pulses over the other vegetables, because market में जाना is not safe. So you can buy like chana, moong, matki and all, like peas and all. You're just getting it and तुम लोग घर पे उसको भिगाते हो and then you make a bhaji out of it, right? So जब हम लोग उसको लेके आते हैं, it is completely in a dry state, right? But the moment हम लोग उसको पानी में डालते हैं या फिर soil में डालते हैं, वो it start taking up the water and it shows start growing basically. So what we can say, the cells were in a dormant stage, matlab they were not active metabolically. So during the dormancy, the seed is metabolically inactive. वो जिंदा होता है but inactive होता है. And जब भी हम उसको favorable conditions देते हैं, it can regain its function and it can be metabolically active and start growing. So this is called as breaking the dormancy and tip germination. Okay, so if you go back and check the functions and the physiological roles, there are multiple, but I think you should at least remember 6. तो हम लोगों ने क्या क्या देखे हैं? Cell enlargement, stimulate growth of stem and root, growth of adventitious and lateral roots, 2,4-D acts as a herbicide, induces parthenocarpy, prevents premature fruit drop, prevents formation of the abscission layer, and breaks dormancy. So you just need to write it down in your book, take it as an assignment, write a note on auxin, and write down all these points. So basically, don't write down in a full stage. So पहले introduction, what is auxin, then उसका precursor क्या है, उसके types क्या है, and function. So at least in a 4 points, I want your answer. Okay. So I will ask you to show your books in the next class. So please write it down. Please. Okay. अगर हम लोग अभी क्लासेस में होती तो शायद मैं खुद तुम लोग को नोट्स लिखवा के दे देता, बट नाउ इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. सो आई थिंक यू कैन डू इट. अगर फिर भी कुछ नहीं समझा, देन वी विल डिस्कस इन अ नेक्स्ट क्लास. Also there is one interesting fact that something called as Agent Orange is there. So it is also a mixture of 2 phenoxy herbicides. One of it is a auxin, like 2,4-D, and then 2,4,5-T, which is a dioxin, and it is known as Agent Orange, and it was used in a war, that is the Vietnam War, for defoliation of a forest. Okay, so these are some interesting facts they have given in your book. Keep reading, it helps some other point. Then the next hormone comes is a gibberellins, which we will just start. I will not finish it because my laptop is gonna be dead soon. So let's see, अगर 5 मिनट में होता है तो हम लोग ऐसे उसका background देखेंगे, what is the gibberellins and all. But if you are having any doubt about the hormone part or about the auxin, please ask me, we can discuss. Okay, any doubts or auxin? No? Okay, so at least read once and then I think you will get some doubts. So एक बार पढ़ो and then doubt. So see, this chapter is very small now. अगर हमने एक बार hormones खत्म कर दिया तो I think खत्म. So maybe in the next lecture हम लोग का topic खत्म हो जाएगा. So as it is a small topic and it just includes 5 major topics, I want you all to complete this topic with the lecture itself. तो आज auxins पढ़ो, कल हम लोग और 4 पढ़ेंगे and it will be done. Because this is something called a smart study. Okay, you don't need to do a lot of, yes, hard work is important, struggle is important, but ये दोनों को भी किसी की तो सपोर्ट चाहिए, and that is called a smart study. So it doesn't matter कि तुम लोगों ने कितने बुक्स पढ़े, but it actually matters कि तुम लोगों ने एक बुक से कितना अच्छे से पढ़ा है, and which will help you in writing your exams, may it be boards or NEET or even for JEE, it is valid. Okay, so don't ignore such topics कि जो बहुत ज़्यादा scoring होते हैं. It helps. Okay, so with this I will start with the gibberellins थोड़ा सा and then we will stop. So it is another growth promoting hormone basically. It is called as gibberellin because it was obtained from an organism which is a fungus called as Gibberella. Okay, that's why the name is gibberellin. Okay, so it is a growth promoting hormone and it is also present in a root tips and a developing seeds. Okay, now why it is present in developing seeds? Because it is also required for breaking dormancy. So you can see this is one function which is common for auxin and gibberellins. Okay, so you should note down such things. It shows non-polar transport through the vascular tissue. Again, one difference from the auxin. Auxin show the polar transport and gibberellin shows the non-polar transport. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, gibberellins are first isolated from the fungus जिसका नाम था Gibberella fujikuri. Okay, and it was done by the Japanese scientist Kurosawa in 1926. तो बेसिकली ये लोग ने कहाँ पे ऑब्जर्व किया था, दे वर वर्किंग इन अ राइस प्लांट्स एंड देन फ्रॉम राइस प्लांट दे फाउंड देयर इज सम डिसीज एंड दैट डिसीज इज कॉज्ड बाय अ पर्टिकुलर फंगस एंड दैट फंगस इज प्रोड्यूसिंग समथिंग which is causing the disease. Okay, so this is just a typical बोलते ना एक glimpses of exactly what is the story. So क्या हुआ था, they observed that when a rice plant was infected by a fungus called as Gibberella fujikuri, it shows extensive stem elongation. मतलब वो particular plant थे या फिर crops का stem was very elongated, so they were not showing very good crop yield, but उनका length was very good. Okay, and this disease was called as Dakini disease. Okay, it was caused by Gibberella fujikuri. तो जब इन लोगों ने वो डिसीज को स्टडी करने की कोशिश की, what they obtained a crystalline form of this particular chemical, and it was done by the two scientists Yabuta and Sumiki. So they actually obtained the crystalline form of gibberellins from the fungus culture, and उन लोगों ने वो केमिकल को नाम दिया gibberellin because it was obtained from the Gibberella. So it is also synthesized in young leaves, seeds, roots and stem tips. So these are some locations जहाँ पे ये particular hormone produce होता है. In case of auxin, वो कहाँ पे था? It was just in the tips of the plant and the meristematic tissue. In this case यहाँ पे tips में तो होता ही है. Along with that, it is also present in leaves, seeds and roots as well. So this is one point you should note down. And then, if you remember, auxin was synthesized from what? Tryptophan, which is the amino acid. But then this particular gibberellins are synthesized from the mevalonic acid. This is a kind of organic compound which acts as a precursor for the gibberellins. Till now, more than 150 types of gibberellins are available, or we can say are discovered so far. But among them, they are labeled as GA1, GA2, GA3. This is the typical way to label auxin. So इनका obviously कुछ तो chemical name होगा, but just for its understanding, it is GA1, GA2, gibberellin 1, gibberellin 2, ऐसे kind of their name. So GA3 is the most common and a biologically active form of a gibberellins, and it is commonly used for multiple purposes also. So केमिकल इसका स्ट्रक्चर एक्चुअली क्या होता है? इट इंक्लूड्स द गिब्बियन रिंग, अ साइक्लिक डाइटरपेन विद अ 4 आइसोप्रीन ग्रुप. ओके, सो ये जो इसका टिपिकल स्ट्रक्चर है, दैट आई विल शो यू इन अ नेक्स्ट क्लास कि वो कैसे दिखता है, व्हाट इज आइसोप्रीन यूनिट, व्हाट इज गिब्बियन रिंग, वो सब हम लोग. इट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड फॉर यू टू रीड अप अबाउट द और मेमोराइज द स्ट्रक्चर बेसिकली, but just for your understanding I will show you कि वो structure दिखता कैसे है. Okay, so with this I will stop today. So हमने आज क्या देखा? हमने hormones का basic background देखा कि क्या होते हैं, कैसे होते हैं and all. Then we started with auxin. हमने auxin का function देखा, उसका basic types क्या होता है, how it functions, and उसका वो कहाँ पर synthesize होता है and किससे synthesize होता है वो भी हमने देखा. And then we started with the gibberellins, which is another growth promoting hormone, and we just check the background of the gibberellins कि वो कैसे discovered हुआ था, किसने किया था, and what is the precursor for gibberellins basically. Okay, so till now I expect you to read up and come in the next class, and also please write down the short note on the auxins. It will just take 10 minutes from your side to write down the short notes on auxin, but I want a proper point-wise answer. So I think you should consider my request now. So with this I will stop. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me, we can discuss, or else we can continue in the next class. So any doubts? No doubts? So if no doubt, then I will stop here. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.